and wrong investigations can mislead. Because I'll give you one example. I've been talking about it this morning. Shubhrastha, welcome. And Savio, welcome. I spoke about it this morning when Greta Thunberg tweeted about the farmers' protest. She ended up also putting out the toolkit. And that was a 6-page document which showed how it was a clear foreign hand to try and disrupt the run-up to Independence Day here in India. This was documented, it was followed up, and it was investigated. Interestingly, at that time, nobody could really question it. So their response is to say, oh, you are against freedom of expression. Similar example, Shubhrastha, you'll remember, there were people who wanted to dismiss the riot factory that was there in Tahir Hussein's property. And, you know, they tried to deny the fact that Tahir Hussein led the rioting communal mob. We showed the pictures of the riot factory running inside Tahir Hussein's house. So it becomes difficult for people. There's a contrary narrative which begins to come out. But unless challenged, Shubhrastha, unless challenged, that narrative can become a reality. These are the days of post-truth. You put out any fact, reinforce it, and have then a group of people who keep tweeting, retweeting it, put out reels of it. You can make anything the reality. You can spread disinformation about the Indian forces. You can spread fake news about what happened in Ghaziabad. You can say this old man was forced to chant Jai Shri Ram, and you will never know the truth. So we are fairly unapologetic about our investigations. But in the context of narrative setting, we need the correct narrative setting on the digital media as well, isn't it? It cannot be only on television anymore. Shubhrastha.
Absolutely, Arnab. I congratulate you and your team once again for this momentous day, because you know, it's what you said is absolutely correct. And I would just want to add that the reason why Republic Media Network is different from the others is because you guys take a very steady position. And this position is not dictated by who is in position of power today. It has always, your brand of journalism has always been about putting an editorial point of view right at the front, and then of course giving the news as it is. And I think the same spirit, if it is followed in the digital space as well, it is going to change the whole dynamics. Because currently the digital space in India today is lopsided by ideological and political divides. To have a fresh voice which takes a position on India first, on nation first, and then decide what content is to follow, I think it's a very brave step. And I genuinely wish you and your team all the best in taking this forward. It's absolutely important to win the narrative battle, because as you said, in the age of post-truth, it's important for people to understand what exactly is conspiring, especially if the conspiracy is against this country. It's also important to understand where India is actually making giant strides when it comes to diplomacy, and I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties at this moment. In a very generalized way, it's a very proud moment to be an Indian. We are making strides almost everywhere, and it's important to acknowledge this stride as well. Of course, we have shortcomings. Of course, there are various factors on which India should work upon, and I think together we will, together we can, together we must. But it's important to set the narrative right on the digital platform. It's also important to flood digital platforms with the truth that is reverberating across the country. And it's important for some people, some media houses, and some ideologies to get a fact check, to get a reality check. I hope Republic is able to achieve all of that and much more.